وَإِنْ كَانَ لُغَةً بِدْعَةً. So if there is any asl in the ulum of Sharia, then it would never be considered as bid'ah. It will never fall under the category of bid'ah. Although, literally speaking, according to lugha, you can say it is bid'ah in lugha. But according to Sharia, this would not be declared as bid'ah. According to Sharia, it is not bid'ah. So Imam Ibn Rajab Hanbali further says that, quoting a hadith of Imam Tirmizi, he says, "Man ibtada'a bid'atan dalalatan." If anybody invents any new thing which by nature is misguiding. So every new thing is not misguidance. But there are some new acts which can be misguiding, which can be erroneous. So he says, which anybody invents any new thing, any act, which in its nature is a misguidance, la yardah Allahu wa la rasuluhu, and it is against the pleasure of Almighty Allah and pleasure of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then he would be awarded with the punishment. And then Imam Ibn Rajab Hanbali, he says a very important thing. He quotes then, when Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu appointed Hazrat Ubay bin Ka'b as the Imam of Salatul Taraweeh. We will quote this hadith. This is in Sahih Bukhari. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu went to the Masjid al-Nabawi one night and found the people were praying Salatul Taraweeh separately. Everybody was praying separately or in the form of small groups. So there was not single Imam, and there was no proper big Jamaat or congregational prayer of Taraweeh. So he found it and he said, how good it would be if I appoint an Imam and we start a congregational prayer of Salatul Taraweeh, which is done in every mosque now. So he appointed Sayyidina Ubay bin Ka'b radiyallahu ta'ala anhu as Imam al-Taraweeh, Salatul Taraweeh. Next night, when the Jama'atul Taraweeh, Salatul Taraweeh had started, he went again and he saw that all people were praying the congregational Salatul Taraweeh behind the Imam Ubay bin Ka'b. And he found it very pleasing. He was happy to see it, and he said, "Ni'matil bid'atu hazihi." Wa fi riwayatin ni'mal bid'atu hazihi. This is in Sahih Bukhari. How good is this bid'ah? How beautiful is this bid'ah? How appreciable is this bid'ah? How commendable is this bid'ah? Sayyidina Umar said. So Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu is the first person in the ummah of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam who classified the bid'ah into two forms: ni'mal bid'ah wa sayyi'al bid'ah. Good bid'ah and wrong, bad bid'ah. He said, he used the word bid'ah and qualified it with ni'mah, al bid'atul hasana. He said, how good and appreciable is this bid'ah? So Imam Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali quotes this practice, saying that sometimes one act in one specific aspect is new, but still it is good. Then he quotes in the same way that Sayyidina Usman radiyallahu ta'ala anhu added the first azan of Jummah, which never existed in the days of Holy Prophet and in the days of Sayyidina Abu Bakr and in the days of Sayyidina Umar. In the days of Holy Prophet there used to be only one azan of Jummah in front of the Imam before khutbah. The same practice continued in the days of Sayyidina Abu Bakr, and the same was in the days of Sayyidina Umar. When the third Caliph Sayyidina Usman came, again this thing is quoted in Sahih Bukhari. You can take the reference. I will quote all references separately. But I am quoting now Imam Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali. I will come to Sahih Bukhari afterwards. So he quotes, then that Sayyidina Usman did a new act. And he brings that new act under the term of bid'ah. Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali discusses the invention of second azan. The first azan existed in the days of Holy Prophet and first two caliphs. And now the first azan, which we start 1 hour earlier, for example, and then Imam starts. So this azan was invented as an innovation by Sayyidina Usman radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. So he brings this al-azanul awwal as an example of bid'ah, but al-bid'atul hasana. And he says, now Imam Ibn Rajab Hanbali, about al-azan al-awwal lil Jum'ah, the first azan of Jum'ah, which is practiced in the whole of Ummah. He said, when Abdullah bin Umar saw it, that now two azans have been started. So Abdullah bin Umar said, huwa bid'atun. This is bid'ah. Since it was al-bid'atul hasana. If without differentiating, you say, kullu muhdasatin bid'atun wa kullu bid'atin dalala. Every new act and invention is bid'ah, and it will go to hellfire. Then what about the act of Sayyidina Usman, which is being practiced by the whole of Muslim Ummah with consensus? And you see, Imam Bukhari has reported it. Sayyidina Usman he started it, invented and innovated this adhan, and Abdullah bin Umar said, قال huwa bid'atun. This is a new act. It means that every new act cannot be termed as bid'ah shar'iyyah. Or every new act, literally speaking, can be said bid'ah, but it is not al-kullu bid'atin dalala. You have to differentiate between the two, and you have to classify. In the same way, the Imam Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali, he quotes another example of compiling the Quran in form of one single book, one book, this way, in one mushaf. Sayyidina Usman radiyallahu ta'ala anhu did it. Then he quotes this example. Again, this event is reported in Sahih Bukhari. When hundreds of huffaz, they were martyred in a particular battle, then Sayyidina Umar came to Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq, and he was Khalifa of that time. It comes in Sahih Bukhari. And asked, "O Abu Bakr, Ya Khalifatul Muslimin, Ya Khalifata Rasulillah, hundreds of the huffaz have been killed, martyred. So if the same practice goes on during jihad and ghazawat, a time may come then people may not have the Quran in their hearts. So let us compile it in the form of a book. Let us compile in the form of a single book." So this is a natural thinking which people say nowadays, that, oh, this act was not done in the days of Holy Prophet. Holy Prophet didn't do it. Companions didn't do it the way we think. And we are misguided by our own desires. So this thought also came and emerged in the mind of Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And he said, Sayyidina Abu Bakr, "Kaifa taf'alu shay'an ma lam yaf'al bihi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam." You can quote Sahih Bukhari, hadith number 4679. Sahih Bukhari, Kitab al-Tafsir in Quran, hadith number 4679. Zayd bin Sabit Ansari radiyallahu ta'ala is reporting the hadith, that Sayyidina Abu Bakr said, "Kayfa af'alu shay'an lam yaf'alhu Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam." O Umar, how can I do an act which Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself did not perform? So this thought occurred in the mind of Sayyidina Abu Bakr. But this is a new thing, compiling the Quran in the form of single book. How can we do? Whether it is permissible or not. Because Holy Prophet ﷺ in his lifetime, he didn't compile it in the form of a book. So this is the basis of the concept of bid'ah. So this thought occurred in the mind of Sayyidina Abu Bakr for a while, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. But Sayyidina Umar said, Wallahi huwa khair. This is the basis how a bid'ah becomes bid'atul hasana. He said, oh Khalifatul Rasulillah, no doubt,